And now you can see the Backseat Mogul Show in all its video glory on our YouTube page at roughedge.tv.
Come to Harbor Cove Cafe, where the palm trees sway, where you'll find my ties and zombies you'll crave. Your hidden treasure at the end of an acre. Tropical libations, feel the island vibrations. Taste the flavors that delight in our paradise at night. Sip on sunshine in your cup, life's a breeze, so drink it up. Harbor Cove Cafe, where the aloha stays. Your perfect getaway at the end of the bay.
Showbiz is a cruel and shallow money trench, a long plastic hallway where thieves and pimps run free and good men die like dogs for no good reason. There's also a bad side.
This is the Backseat Mogul Show live here on Rough Edge FM. I am R. Scott Bolton. Sorry, I forgot to turn the camera on there. And this is the show where we talk about show business. Sitting with me, as always, is Johnny D over that way.
Hello.
Hello. Big entry from the Johnny D there. So today we're going to start out by talking about some... I'm sorry, playing with my layouts here, and I probably shouldn't. We're going to do two segments today of Is It As Bad As They Say It Was? Because I saw two movies this week that will decide whether or not that it was as bad as they say it was. First, though, I want to double check something real quick. So give me 1 second. And one of these movies, by the way, John's going to love. No matter how bad the movie is, he's going to love it. So that's what I thought. I got that release date wrong. Okay. So let me fix that, and then we'll get started. This is new backstage stuff. You shouldn't have to watch this when you're watching the show. It should all be done, but that's the way it goes here. All right, hang on a second, because now we're going to do our intro for Is It As Bad As They Say It Was? We'll find out now on the Backseat Mogul Show. Okay, so our first topic for today is it as bad as they say it was, at a film called American Renegades, also known as just Renegades, from 2017. Now, wow, I screwed up very badly, folks. I apologize. I got the wrong information here every which way. So let's go ahead and jump ahead to the actual, I really screwed it up. So just pretend like this didn't happen, and I'm going to edit this out later.
Erase.
Yeah. I really am embarrassed about this. This is the problem with printing paper. I want to blame everybody for this because blame paper for this because I printed it up twice and the information is all wrong. Now I'm very confused. Stupid. All right. So we're going to try this all over again. We're going to do this one from scratch. Okay. So first today on Is It As Bad As They Say It Was, we have American Renegades, which was also known as Renegades. It's a film from 2017, and currently it's sitting at a 5.5 rating on Internet Movie Database and a 24% good reviews on Rotten Tomatoes. So not great either way, right, Johnny?
Yeah.
Let me just tell you briefly what this movie is about. A team of Navy SEALs discovers an underwater treasure in a Bosnian lake of Nazi stolen gold. Does that sound familiar?
Yeah.
What's it sound like?
Well, because I just saw it up there. Kelly's Heroes.
A little bit like Kelly's Heroes. It's not Kelly's Heroes. Let's just get that out of the place. It is not a Kelly's Heroes quality movie.
Speaking of Kelly's Heroes, a little ode to Donald Sutherland. I saw a clip on my phone, a video clip on my phone of that scene where he's Donald Sutherland's character is talking to Kelly about his tanks. And I love it when Donald Sutherland's character would always go, woof, woof. It's just his delivery, woof, woof, was just, I have said that a lot.
See, this is why I don't mention other movies to John, because he goes off on a tangent of something that he remembers from that movie.
Anyway,
but
as you're saying,
Kelly's Hero is a great movie, truly a great movie. American Renegades, or Renegades, depending on how you find it. I actually couldn't find American Renegades at first, had to look it up by its original title, which is just Renegades. It stars Sullivan Stapleton, Charlie Bewley, Sylvia Hoeks, and J.K. Simmons. So is it worth watching? Well, yeah, J.K. Simmons is in
exactly.
it.
And
so,
that's the only name I recognize.
Yeah, well, the other guys you recognize if you saw them.
Mm-hmm.
They're from various television projects, mostly, in other films, so you would recognize them as well. So the story is about this, as it says, these Navy SEALs are told by a Bosnian survivor that there's Nazi gold, 27 tons of it, at the bottom of this lake. And she asked them for their help in bringing it up. Well, they're Navy SEALs. They know how to do a lot of things, but bringing up 27 tons of gold from the lake floor at 150 feet, that's a little, daunting. But guess what? They get it done.
Right.
And the camaraderie in the film is good. The actors who play the Navy SEALs work well together. J.K. Simmons is their commander. My hat's off to him. That guy he makes anything fun. He just has a ball doing it, and he's so intense. And they give him the lines that make it sound like J.K. Simmons. It's way too long. It runs at about an hour and 46 minutes. They could have trimmed that down to 90 minutes easily. It's not as exciting as you might expect for something like this. It's a little silly in some scenes, the whole way they get rid of the Nazis, because it goes back and forth between World War II and present day. And the way they get rid of the Nazis in the World War II, you roll your eyes about, because if they did what they did in the movie, it wouldn't just be the Nazis they got rid of. It would be everybody in the whole town. But anyway, is it as bad as they say it was? I would give it a 50% out of 100, a 50 out of 100, instead of the 24 out of 100 that Rotten Tomatoes gave it. So, it's low budget. It's entertaining enough. The special effects are fine for what they are. I mean, it's 2017, so the special effects aren't old. It's only 7 years old, so you've got that. I think a lot of this has to do with one of the co-writers is Luc Besson, and I'm a big fan of Luc Besson's work. And I think that he punched the script up a little bit and made it a little better than it could have been. Is it derivative? Oh yeah, it's basically Kelly's gold transported to another era. But at the same time, I enjoyed it, and J.K. Simmons was it. So is it as bad as they say it was? No, I'd say it gets a 50 out of 100 rather than a 24 out of 100.
Whoa! I just how these headphones keep going back and forth, back and forth.
I don't need excuses, John. I need you to do your job.
Where'd you see it at?
Max,
Oh,
HBO
okay.
Max. So you can see it there now. Well, when I watched it, who knows if it's still available there, but it was on HBO Max. Actually, it says that it is Internet Movie Database. So that's American Renegades, also known as Renegades. 5 Navy SEALs, $300 million in gold, one incredible mission. And it's entertaining and yeah, it's bad because it's very derivative, very silly in many scenes. But you know what? It gets the job done, and it held my attention. Could it have been shorter? It really could have been, but not by too much, obviously. And it was directed by Stephen Quayle, who was also the director of. I want to make sure this is right before I tell you this. Yeah, Final Destination 5. And look at this. Stephen Quayle is known for Final Destination 5, Into the Storm, and Avatar. Do you think he directed Avatar? No, he didn't.
I was
James
gonna
Cameron
say,
directed Avatar,
yeah.
but maybe he was an assistant director or a crew guy or
Yeah,
something
that
like
could
that.
be. Yeah.
But I love the fact that if it was me, I'd put that in my name too. Oh yeah, I swept the floor for Avatar. I put me there. But anyway,
That's just like me.
it's not like you at all.
I was in Rocky 5. I was an extra, but I was in Rocky 5. Did I get a credit for it? Well, they did pay me for 2 days' work.
But you get to say from now on, I worked with Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah, I even got his autograph.
Even if it's not true. Yeah.
No, it is true.
It's not true.
It is because Sylvester Stallone.
Did you have interacting lines with him? Did you have interacting lines with him?
I'm trying to tell you.
I know the answer already, so no.
Did I have lines in the movie? No. Was I given, me and another guy were given special instructions.
Okay, John, Get Out doesn't
on what
count.
to do. No, he didn't say get out.
All right. So anyway, yeah, I do that I joke about that stuff all the time. Oh, yeah, I worked with them.
Yeah.
What'd you do? I swept the floor. Whatever.
I did craft services. Yeah.
All right. So anyway, that's that movie. That is one of our first. Is it as bad as they say it was for the day? And we do have another one. So I'm going to play the intro again because I like our intro. It goes like this. Is it as bad as they say it was? We'll find out now on the Backseat Mogul Show. All right. So part 2 of today's Is It As Bad As They Say It is Need for Speed from 2014. Now, the reason John will like this movie is because this movie is basically car porn. Let's just be honest about it.
Yeah.
It's car porn. It's Fast and Furious to a detriment.
And, with that being said, I'm not a big Fast and Furious.
Yes, I'm aware of that. You like to see movies that cars do what they can actually do.
Yeah.
That's not going to be this movie for you.
Oh.
There's actually a sequence where they have the last Shelby Mustang that Shelby was working on with Ford. They've finished it apparently, and it's going to be in this race. But they're being chased by bad guys because there's a bounty out. I'll tell you the whole story in a second, I swear, folks. But so a helicopter comes in, one of those military helicopters that Sonorsky or whatever. It's hard to say.
Chinook?
No, it's not a Chinook. It's the bigger one. Anyway, and it lowers a pair of chains with hooks on them. And the driver grabs one of the chains and pulls it into as they're racing away from the cops at 180 miles an hour. And the passenger grabs a chain and they pull it into the Corvette and they attach the hooks. And then
Mustang.
It is a Mustang. It's big. I would be in trouble with that because Ford helped pay for some of this movie. So it is a Mustang. It's Shelby's. The last Mustang. Of course it is the last Mustang he was working on. And then they go off the cliff and the helicopter holds the Mustang and carries it to safety. Now, I'm no technical expert, and maybe I'm wrong about these things, but I would think that the roof would rip right off.
Yeah, unless it's, it has a roll cage in it.
And maybe it did, but they didn't attach it to the roll cage. Maybe they did if it was a full roll cage.
If it's a full roll cage and they came in, like people can really see me do this.
They can actually.
Okay, you got a chain on this side, and if they come in and hook the two chains together, it's going to cause damage from where the chains are hitting the roof. But the roll cage, like I said, if it's a true roll cage, would prevent the roof from being ripped off. Yeah,
that's true. And I don't remember if it had the full roll cage or not, even though all of these cars in this movie roll over on their tops and don't get squished. So do they have roll cages? I don't know. Are they supposed to have roll cages? I don't know. Do they care? It doesn't matter. So anyway, I'm going to read you the synopsis from Internet Movie Database. It's kind of wordy, so stick with me, and then I'll go into some more details about it. Framed by an ex-partner for a murder he did not commit, Toby Marshall, a financially struggling custom car builder and street racer, spends 2 years in jail thinking about one moment. Fresh out of prison, he reacquires the fastest car his workshop ever built and sold and seeks to enter a secretive and extremely high-stakes race known as the De Leon. His purpose? Redemption, recognition from the world of racing, and to solve his problems. Yet all this fades in comparison to his driving reason, revenge. Now, I'll tell you what's going on here. Aaron Paul is one of the stars of this movie, and he is he owns a shop, an auto shop, and he's having trouble with money. So his father just died, left the place in a bad way financially, and so he's having trouble with money. So he has to enter this race. in order to make some money. Not the De Leon race, that comes later, but another race to make $5,000. He wins that race, and he wins it against another racer called Dino, who's played by Dominic Cooper. Do you know who Dominic Cooper is?
It's funny that his first name is Dominic.
Do you know who Dominic Cooper is? I know where you're going, Fast and Furious, because there's many similarities there.
The name's not
Preacher. He's Preacher.
Oh,
love that guy.
Oh.
Dominic Cooper wanted to be James Bond so bad he convinced the makers of Preacher to add some more fighting in it so he could prove he could do it.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you said Reacher.
Preacher.
Yes. Okay.
So Dominic Cooper is this other driver. And the third driver is Aaron Paul's brother. Now, I'm going to show you these cars.
That's how it's listed in the credits. Aaron Paul's brother.
I can do the show by myself.
I slay myself.
I'd slay you too if I had the opportunity. We weren't live in there.
I'm sorry.
All right. So the red car, you can't see it very well. Do you know what that red car is?
Looks like it could be a Corvette.
It's not.
Or it's an Italian job.
It's some kind of foreign car that has a name like Amois or something like that.
Ooh,
I don't know what it is. Anyway, there's 3 of those cars. They're all identical. The 3 of them get in these cars and they go on a race. So they're racing, and it looks like Aaron Paul is going to win again. And by the way, Aaron Paul is just great. He's terrific in this movie too. But Dominic Cooper's in third place. He doesn't want to lose because the loser, there's like a huge, like $2 million riding on this race. And they're street racing, by the way. So it's not like they're going in a circle. They're racing through, schoolyards and stuff. It's crazy. But anyway, so Dominic doesn't want to lose. So he bumps the brother's car. Well, what happens when you bump a car at 180, 200 miles an hour?
It goes cattywampus.
Apparently, it flies 50, 60 feet in the air and flies off the freeway and crashes and blows up. So
he killed his brother?
Aaron Paul looks in the rearview mirror, sees that his brother's got blown up. And what does Dominic Cooper do? So Aaron Paul stops his car, goes back to help his brother, way too late. Dominic Cooper, he goes on to win the race and then hides the car. And then the police get hold of Aaron Paul and think he murdered his brother by stealing 2 of those cars and having this race. And so he goes to jail. But then he gets out of jail. And all he wants to do is to win the De Leon race, which is a race put together by Michael Keaton. Michael Keaton is this YouTube kind of star who puts this race together and reports on it as it's taking place, again, through forests, hills, and lighthouses with about, I think, 10 cars. Okay. If he wins this race, whoever wins this race gets all the cars. So if you win the race, you win all the cars. Pretty cool little race. Yeah. And they're driving $2 million cars in some cases. So the problem is that most of the cars don't finish the race. And that's part of the problem about this movie. Okay, there's several problems about this movie. That's one of them. The second one is that the race sequences are great. Don't get me wrong. They're really cool, but they're just a little ridiculous. It's like, that's probably not going to happen. Also, the police activity involved. They're trying to stop the race. The racers won't stop because they want to win all the cars, right? So the highway patrol is chasing them with helicopters and everything else. And finally, the helicopter pilot tells them, we've been authorized to use lethal force. Really? You've been authorized lethal force to stop a race? Sure. But I believed after I saw what they meant by lethal force, because one of the CHP pulls, he's ahead of the race. He hides in the forest and he waits for the racers to come racing around the corner. And then he takes his baton, stuffs it against his accelerator and his seat so the engine's full blast. And right as the cars come around, he puts it into drive and the police car goes out in the middle of the street and bam, the cars hit it. Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Not going to do that.
Really? Come on. And there's other scenes like that as well. And now I will say this, the car crash scenes are spectacular. They are spectacular. I don't know how they did it. I think there's a little CGI involved. This is 2014, so CGI was certainly available then. And at Fast and the Furious movies, that's all over there. But there's also a lot of practical, real accidents, real crashes in this thing. And one of the things that this particular director does, his name is Scott Wow, and he directed The Expendables 4. Don't hold that against him. When there's a crash, the cars literally shoot 50, 60 feet in the air. Okay, I don't know if those cars would do that or not, but it's kind of cool. But he's attached a camera to these cars. So when the car's up 60 feet in the air spinning, the camera's catching the POV of the car. That's kind of cool. I saw that several times. That was kind of cool. And like I said, the races are well done. Aaron Paul's got this intensity about him and this danger about him that just exudes from him, which is why he was so good in Breaking Bad, why he's so good in this. Here he is in this trashy car porn movie, and he's still got some depth. It's impressive.
Didn't he do another car movie?
Oh, I'm sure he did, because of course, once he got out of Breaking Bad, he kind of became famous for that. He was doing this.
I was thinking that he did another car chase type movie.
Also in this movie are is Aaron Paul and Dominic Cooper, as I said. I'm going to say her name wrong. Imogen Poots is in this. Kid Cudi, Rami Malek, Academy Award winner Rami Malek, Dakota Johnson, and Academy Award winner Michael Keaton. So it's a nice cast there, and the story's silly. The ending is pat, but it's exactly how it had to end.
Mm-hmm.
It had to end the way it ended. Apparently, he's able to. I don't know if this is a spoiler alert, but I'm gonna tell you anyway. He's able to prove that he didn't murder his brother. So they let him out of jail. But what about the road racing, which left several people dead, probably a couple of civilians, and $40 million worth of cars strewn across the place?
Now,
I don't know.
He did in that previous race. He did bump.
No, he did not.
Oh, I'm sorry.
The bad guy, Dominic Cooper, did.
I'm sorry. I thought you said Aaron Paul.
Yeah, you should probably listen. And and who knows? I might have said that. I probably didn't.
Okay.
Anyway, so it all works out in the end. Everything's happy, and they're off to do another race. And they apparently got the Mustang fixed up, because that's where they pick him up at the end from prison. So the Mustang's okay. It got sideswiped by a giant tow truck
And
flung onto its roof.
Do you know what year this Mustang is supposed to be?
I just know it's the last one that Shelby worked on.
Okay. Because if it's a 67,
it's not. It's new. It's much newer.
Oh, okay.
Much newer.
Okay.
Yeah. The last one he worked on. Last one he worked on wasn't a 67. Oh, bring me a 67. I'll fix it up.
Well,
he was building cars, John, not fixing them.
Well,
you should know this. How can you not know this? You have failed as, you know what? You know nothing about cars.
Okay, I'm a Chevy guy.
That's not an excuse. It might be.
Yeah. What's the name of this movie again?
Need for Speed. Need for Speed is 23% on the Rotten Tomatoes score, 38 out of 100 on Metacritic, 6.4 on IMDb, and a B+ on Cinema Score. So you can see that it's obviously crowd pleasing. I would say it's more of a 50 or 60 on a scale of 100, because it is hard. It's like a Fast and Furious movie. It's hard for me to forgive them for the ridiculous they expect us to buy. But that being said, it's kind of fun to accept that ridiculous too. So
okay, you've given this would you say?
I would give it a 50 or 60, somewhere between 50.
So
and 60
pretty much what you gave the first one.
Yeah, well, I give that one lower. I would give that one a 50 for sure. But this one's between 50 and 60, and I tend to be a little higher because I actually did like it better. It's getting hot in here.
Want me to open the door?
No, it won't help. But we should have turned the air conditioner on while we're here. But they'll be here soon. Maybe they'll turn it on. I know that everybody else who's in hotter areas, like my brother, I was telling him he had no idea how hot it was in California. It was 100 yesterday in Santa Paula. He said, really? I'm in Costa Rica. What does that tell you? Yeah, that's true. Okay. What else? Anyway, those are my two, are they as bad as they seem they were movies? Need for Speed with Aaron Paul, I would give between, let's just say 55 to be fair, 55 out of 64. It's ludicrous but still fun. And then there's also American Renegades, also known as Renegades, with J.K. Simmons, which makes any movie worthwhile. And here's the poster for that one as well. Another one that's extremely derivative, but far more entertaining than you might expect. Just goes on a little bit long. And by the way, Need for Speed goes on for a while too. I think it's over 2 hours long. That's just too long for those kind of movies. There's the Need for Speed poster. But anyway, good stuff. it's good with that to see that cast. I wish I could see more stuff that Dominic Cooper was in, and I know I can. I just have to actually go do it.
Where'd you see Need for Speed?
That was also on Max.
Okay.
I want to say. Let me double check because we don't want to mislead folks. There's a video game called Need for Speed, but I don't think the two are related. I could be wrong, but I don't think they are. Yeah, it's also on Max, by the way.
Wasn't
Imogen Poots. I'm close. Wasn't that what?
Well, typical John.
I'm gonna sit here and wait till you think of it.
Well,
No, I'm not.
this is something else I was thinking of earlier. You remember the TV show Speed? Very short-lived.
No.
It wasn't called Speed? Oh, Drive.
I don't remember either one.
It was the one that had Nathan Fillion in it.
You're not helping me.
It was about a race. It starts in Florida, I think, and they have to go drive all the way to, I think it's in California, I believe. And it was either called Speed or it was called Drive.
I got Drive from 2011 starring Ryan Gosling.
No.
You got Drive Away Dolls from 2024. Mulholland Drive from 2001. Sex Drive from 2008. And Drive Angry. Let's see if there's more. Drive My Car, License to Drive, but that's no stars. All right, we'll have to go to Nathan Lane.
Nathan Fillion.
That's what I said, Nathan Fillion Lane.
Oh, that's what you. Yeah. That's
Speaking of which, did you see Michael Keaton's changing his name?
No. To Batman.
His real name is Michael Douglas, which of course the Screen Actors Guild said you can't use Michael Douglas. So he changed it to Michael Keaton. Well, now he wants to go back to his real name. So he's going to use Michael Keaton Douglas.
Okay.
Nathan Fillion, one of the greats.
Yep. It was a very short-lived series, and they ended it without giving us an ending.
That's the world of TV for you.
Yep.
Oh, there it is. Bupkis.
No, that's not it. I think it was in the 90s.
Well, why don't you talk about what you want to talk about while I find it?
I'm trying to think of what it was, and it
you just brought it up because
it
has
totally went
driving
out of my head.
Cars 3?
No.
In the 90s? I can't go back that far.
90s.
I'm not going to go back that far.
And I can't remember the other people that are in the movie.
It was Drive. All that work just to find out it was called Drive.
Oh, it was 07. That was my bad. Yeah, unfortunately, it was very short-lived. It had a good cast.
Keep talking.
And, well, I enjoyed it.
Of course you did.
Oh, and also Rose was in it. Rose.
I know who you're talking about, but if you don't, why'd you bring it up? Yeah.
And I know her name, but it just won't. My mind is saying.
Drive had a 65% reviews on Rotten Tomatoes.
Really?
So it's not bad.
Oh, I wonder why they canceled it. Oh, well.
I don't know.
But if you can find any of the episodes, well, hopefully you could find the whole season.
Melanie Linsky.
Yes. She was in that movie as well.
Okay.
So, anyway.
You mean that TV series?
What?
Huh?
Huh?
It was a TV series, right?
Drive.
Yeah, not a movie.
I said movie?
You did.
Oh, my bad. That would be my bad.
Okay. So it's getting hotter in here. This is crazy. Yeah. Let's go through some news, see what's going on out there in the world. Beetlejuice 2 looks like it's going to make $100 million this weekend. They were hoping for 70 or 80, looking closer to 100. People just wanted to see Michael Keaton play that character again. The reviews have been kind of mediocre, sitting at about 60%, I think, on Rotten Tomatoes. Let's take a look on that for sure. A lot of people are saying that it doesn't live up to the old not Danny Elfman, Tim Burton style, but a lot of people are saying that it absolutely does. So who do you believe? And we do have a brand new score by Danny Elfman too, so that helps. Yeah, 77%. So that's much better than that. So that's looking pretty good. And $100 million budget. So it's got a ways to go before it kicks that money in, but it's going to get there.
So it's going to, from what I understand, from what you have said, it sounds like it's going to kick Deadpool and Wolverine off the top.
Yeah, after 10 weeks. That tells you a lot.
Yeah, but still 10 weeks. That's wow.
That's pretty impressive. So
And I believe it's still showing at our theater.
I'm sure that it is. I'm sure that it is. So yeah, Beetlejuice, $100 million at the box office, maybe 110 million. They say they're very happy about that. What else have we got here? The Handmaid's Tale, the final season has finally gone into production. It's been delayed over and over, but finally it's into production. That has been a great, great series. If you haven't seen that, I highly recommend The Handmaid's Tale. It'll piss you off, but it'll make you think, and we all really need to do that at this point.
Apparently, it's not there anymore.
Oh, what is playing there?
I will tell you since you've asked. Despicable Me 4.
Another monster hit.
I got to see it. I love those little minions.
They're so funny. Yes.
My Penguin Friend.
Yep, that's a documentary.
Then there's Blink Twice.
That's a horror movie.
There is You Don't Want To, but I probably will. Probably on TV, but Reagan.
No interest whatsoever.
And, the funny thing is,
getting bad reviews.
When he became president the first time, I did not vote for him. Of course, back then I was still a Democrat. Or was I was either a Democrat or I was a
we don't care, John.
Independent.
Make your point.
Okay, anyway, but Dennis Quaid.
I hear he's great. I hear he's great in the movie, but the rest of the movie is not. So too bad. And by the way, it was number 3 at the box office. They made a big deal. Number 3 at the box office. Yeah, number 3 was $7 million. That was pitiful. Movie tanked.
Okay, this one I have. It's called El Condit. I'm going to mispronounce it, so forgive me. El Candidata Honesto. I don't speak.
That is for the honest candidate. So it's obviously a fiction film.
A former idealistic leader turned corrupt politician is cursed by his grandmother on the eve of the presidential election. Where is my voice going?
It's the heat. I really think it is because mine's all trash too.
Yeah.
This looks like a remake of Yes Man. Was it Yes Man? The Jim Carrey? Where did tell
the one where he couldn't lie.
Yeah. What's the name of that movie? Liar, Liar.
Yeah.
Doesn't it sound like Liar, Liar?
Yeah. But the only difference right now is the fact that he was a lawyer, a defense lawyer.
Splitting hairs, John.
Whereas this one is about a politician.
Splitting hairs, John. One of my favorite lines from a movie ever in that movie, where the judge tells him, if you don't stop this, I'm going to have to hold you in contempt. And he turns and looks at her with this anguished look. He says, I hold myself in contempt. It was brilliant because you felt that. It's like he realized what a jerk he'd been all these years. And now that he's having to speak the truth. Yeah, that's a great movie. I miss Jim Carrey. I miss him in everything he does. His dramas were great. His comedies were great. Everything he did was good. He had made some crappy movies, don't get me wrong, but I just like to see him. I miss him now.
And the last one, Beetlejuice.
Of course. Well, you don't.
We have a connection to that.
We don't. Your wife, my wife and I discussed this last night because you always say we have a connection to this. We do not. Our friend, not even our friend, our acquaintance, Nelson Cooper, worked in the film.
There you go.
That does not translate to a connection for us. But you know what translates to a connection for us? Your brother wrote it. That'd be a connection. But Nelson Cooper working on it is
he
just.
He did? I didn't know that. He didn't tell me that. Moving on.
We're taking applications for Sidekick for the Backseat Mogul Show. Please send your resumes to roughedgestudios@gmail.com. Doesn't matter where you live. We can do this over the internet. Tonight's show with Jimmy Fallon is shrinking to 4 nights a week.
Ooh.
I'm surprised that it has lasted this long. The late night television shows aren't doing what they used to do. They don't have Johnny Carson. I mean, once Johnny Carson left, that was going to start happening. And it did. You had Letterman pop up really hot for a while. You had Leno pop up for a while. But now, first of all, there's so many different late night shows. Yeah. And second of all, they're not Johnny Carson. Fallon's great. Don't get me wrong. He's great. But he's not Carson.
But when you've got so many streaming services, people are tuning into movie after movie. Or
yeah, but I think that I would have thought that would have helped because this is my reasoning.
Mhm.
I am not usually up at 11:30 at night. If I am, I'm watching a movie, like you said.
Mhm.
But the beauty of it is the next day I can watch that show on a streamer.
All right.
So why is nobody watching that in streamers then? So it's
Maybe
not
being
just
pushed.
that people aren't watching something else. It's that, well, they are watching something else, but it doesn't have to do with and maybe they're not counting those streams as part of the ratings. I don't know.
Did they say what days it's being shrunk to?
I think it's going to be off on Fridays. Except I cleared the story, so I don't know. 4 new episodes a week, Mondays through Thursdays. So they're going to be on Fridays. They're going to be off Fridays for at least for a while and maybe permanently. And, Jimmy Kimmel has only done 4 episodes a week for a while now. So that's what's happening. It's just they're shrinking and they have to, and I get that. But what are they going to put on there that does better? I can't imagine. We'll see what they have on Friday nights at 11:30.
Show reruns of the old Leno or Carson shows.
Nobody watches those these days either, because they would be great if Johnny Carson was still Johnny Carson and he had today's modern stars on there. But otherwise, it's just nostalgia. And I love to watch it, by the way. Anytime a clip with Johnny Carson and Burt Reynolds pops up, I'm in. But,
Johnny Carson, Robin Williams, Johnny Carson and
Mel Brooks.
Yes, but Johnny Carson and Sam Kinison.
Yeah.
Oh my
Johnny
God.
loved Sam Kinison. He did. That's true. Let's see what else we got here. Melissa McCarthy and Clive Owen are going to star in Paramount Plus's limited series about the 90s murder scandal, John Benet Ramsey. Very interesting choice there. Melissa's capable of that kind of role. She can do it. And we know Clive Owen can. So that's a very interesting casting, and I'm looking forward to seeing that. There may be a new Lifetime holiday movie about Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. Of course there is. What are you doing, John?
Doing my notes. I wanted to see how something will spell.
He's giving me the scroll thing on the. Anyway, of course there's going to be a holiday movie about Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift because she's the biggest star on the planet right now. This shouldn't be a surprise to anybody that this is going to happen, and I think it will happen. And it'll be one of those movies they show every single Christmas year. It'll be like part of their system. It's going to. That's what happens when you're the biggest star in the world. When you've outsold the Beatles, this is what happens. John doesn't like Taylor Swift. I can tell already.
Oh no!
Why don't you like her?
I do like her, but
name one song.
I don't go in for her.
I see. Here's
her music simply because
here's the thing. Here's
not
the thing.
my era.
My son's fiance is a Swiftie.
Yes, she is,
and that's where I get most of my Taylor Swift information from. But ask me to name a song.
Give me a song.
I don't know any.
But before you go any further, go back to the Taylor Swift one.
Oh God, Kelsey.
I got it right.
Kelce.
Okay, no, it's not that one. It's the name of the show that they're going to be doing.
They haven't said it yet.
Christmas in the Spotlight.
Oh, it does say it. That, by the way, that movie is Christmas in the Spotlight. In case you were wondering. What else have we got going on here? We have Will Jennings, who's the Oscar winner for My Heart Will Go On and Up Where We Belong. Songwriter has passed away at the age of 80. Those are some Academy Award winning songs there. What else have we got? Just going through the standard news here, and we're probably going to cut this show off a little bit because it is hot in here. But
I'm actually very comfortable.
Yeah, you got the fan.
Well, you could.
My fan. I don't want that fan. It makes too much noise.
No, it doesn't, because look what I did to it.
I can't hear you.
Yeah. Ha ha ha. I put it on this and it kind of deadens some of the sound, the vibration.
The reviews are out for Horizon American Saga Chapter 2. I don't know where you can see this. We looked it up this morning and it said it was released September 7th. I don't think so. Do you?
I didn't see anything.
I don't know. I mean, is it on? I don't know. And why are the reviews now? I'm a little puzzled by this whole Horizon thing has become a bit of a mess.
It's possible it might be showing in LA at a theater in LA, one of the big fancy theaters in LA before it
maybe
spreads out.
I don't know. But anyway, the reviews are for the most part not kind. They say they go as far as It's just as scattered and slipshod as the first one. It's slightly more watchable. Not rave reviews in either catch, but can we let him finish it series? And I know that's a lot of money, but I'd like to see the finished product.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll all come together, but it is taking too long. This should have been a mini series from the outset.
Mhm.
This is one of those examples where the studio was right. It should have been a series on Amazon or HBO or somewhere. It would have played much better. And unfortunately, I don't even know where this is airing, if it's airing anywhere.
Kevin Costner, I have seen most, if not all, of his movies. And my favorite movie by him is one of the first ones he did, which was called Fandango. It was a great movie. It was a coming of age type show. It was good.
It was so good they named a movie company after it.
That'd be cool.
Fandango?
Yeah, I know. But I wonder.
It could be, but I don't know.
But my favorite Western with him is, the first Western I saw him in was Silverado. He was great in that.
Everybody loves Silverado. Yeah. Silverado's one of those Westerns that's not a real Western in the sense that it's a Western, but it's almost a cartoon Western. It's not like The Unforgiven that Eastwood did, for example.
Dances with Wolves.
With what?
Dances with Wolves.
Oh, Wolves. Okay.
What did you thought I said?
You said wolves the first time.
Oh, okay.
You always say wolves the first time.
Was it Open Range?
Yeah.
That was such a great movie.
I need to see that again because when John and I went to see that at the theater, we got there a little bit late and the only seats available were in the front row. And I sat there for 5 minutes. I said, John, I can't do this. I got to go. And I went and got my money back and left. You stayed and watched it, but I couldn't do it. So.
Did we see that at the old Foxnard?
No, that was at the Century, the dome's over there.
Oh, that's right. When that was a movie theater.
Yeah, now it's a church.
But most of the stuff, The Big Chill. Of course, you only see his hand and part of his forehead.
He had a bigger role, but it got cut out.
Yeah.
So that was okay. I don't see anything else. Oh, wow. I didn't know this. KLOS FM fires afternoon host Kevin Ryder and Doug Sluggo Roberts.
Wow.
Kevin and Sluggo show is dead.
Oh, that's interesting. I stopped listening to KLOS a long time ago.
Here's what's sad. KLOS, I think it was last year, won Best Rock Station in America.
Wow. And
they had changed things. They had changed their playlist. They had that Jonesy show in the afternoon from Steve Jones, is it, from the Sex Pistols, where it was just fun to listen to him to go on with his stories. They had the noon workout where they would play anything ranging from Twisted Sister to Frank Sinatra. It was really a good station. The past few weeks I've been listening, they're back to their 40 songs they play over and over and over again. So
like basically a top 40 type show.
Well, it's not top 40 because it's rock and roll, and there's no rock and roll in the top 40 anymore. So, but
there's no rock and roll anymore.
They're playing. That's not true. There is rock and roll. You just got to find it. You go to roughedge.com and there's where you will find the rock and roll.
Are there any books about rock and roll?
Of course there are.
I know, because I have some. As a matter of fact, I have a.
Really?
Yes. I took a class in college called The History of Rock Music. And I have that book about it. Actually, I've got 3 of those books, volume 1, volume 2, blah, blah. And great books. You can learn so much about the bands up to, when the book was published. And, speaking of books, if you go to Amazon.com and put in the search engine, R. Scott Bolton, author, you're going to pull up a plethora, that too, of Scott's books. Now, you ask, well, who's R. Scott Bolton? That would be, yes, the guy sitting across from me, the guy who runs this show, the guy who's always threatening to fire me. But that's okay. He's fired me before.
The guy who screwed up, is it as bad as they say it was this morning?
But I got to tell you.
I haven't only threatened to fire you.
You did fire me.
I was going to say, I did more than threaten.
Yeah. Not this show.
Not this show. Yeah.
But, the funny thing is about that, when I got fired on a Friday, I was back in the studio on Saturday morning.
That's true.
But
You got fired from one show.
and I got to tell you, firing me the way he did it,
It was the best thing that ever could happen to any of us.
well, for me anyway, because I was a rideshare driver at that time, and that particular show involved drinking.
That's one of the reasons
Alcohol.
you left. I know that.
And so, in a sense, he did me a favor because I would have to wait.
If I knew that, I never would have fired you.
I had to wait at least, depending on how much I drank, 4 to 5 hours, maybe even 6 hours before I could log on to do the driving. And I just wanted to make sure I wasn't impaired when I picked up.
You couldn't be. No, of course not.
So, but I just thought it was funny. I got fired on Friday, back in the studio on Saturday.
Got to clarify. Fired from one show on Friday, back for another show, different title on Saturday. Very important to remember.
But go to Amazon.com. Check out Scott's books. He is really a great, tremendous author.
Okay, don't be silly now.
He runs the gambit from
Or the gambit.
fantasy to science fiction to what goes on today with his Race Heller books.
Race Heller?
Race,
What is that? Johnny Quest dad?
yeah, it's my voice.
Brace Heller.
Brace, that's his brother.
Brace Heller. Brace Heller.
But
I got the name Brace because I wanted a name that was different. It took me a couple hours of Googling to find somebody who was named Brace. And I went, ooh, that's a good name. And the last name Heller comes from the former member of the band Dr. No, Rick Heller, who worked for me at Warehouse Records.
nice.
So I thought that was a perfect name there.
I remember Warehouse Records.
The one on the Vineyard when I worked there. Did you come by when I worked there?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a fun place to run.
Mm-hmm. But also Scott's latest book is
A Brace
Death-
Heller novel.
Yes, it's Death and the Mogul. Very, very good.
What's it about?
It's about a mogul who investigates death, and a movie producer, director type guy wants to get insight into what Brace Heller does as a PI, which is
Because they're going to make a movie about
investigator.
him. That's true.
Because he wants to make a movie about him. You didn't think I knew that, did you?
No, I know. You read it a couple times.
Oh yeah. And
How many times have you read Bowling Bag in the
As a
Backseat?
matter of fact, since you said that, and which is the latest one that Scott is working on, and that I am.
I misspoke
Review.
last week. It's November 1st, not October 1st. I can't do that and get my son married that same weekend.
Yeah.
So
And
November
then
1st.
November, you have another big thing that you're going to be doing.
The Hustle? Well, what am I?
No, the November
Oh, yeah.
novel writing month.
Time for a new book.
Did I say that right? November.
November Novel Writing Month. Yeah.
Oh, I did say that.
Yes. Yes. And I haven't decided what I'm going to do yet. It's, I got so many ideas that I want to do. Some of them are going to be shorter fiction for like novellas instead of novels for Amazon. Amazon has this new program where they're pitching that. But some of them will be the full novels again. And I don't know which way I'm going to go with it. It's probably not going to be the Dead Dick sequel.
Mhm.
It's
Oh.
probably going to be a new Brace Heller book, which I've already got a nice storyline lined up for, or it might be some other things that I'm working on. I got like 5 fires that I'm working on, and some of them have got to be shorter. They're not full. They're like screenplays,
Mhm.
but not screenplays, if you know what I mean.
Mhm.
So they're very short and quick to read, and hopefully exciting. But I don't know. I haven't decided yet, but I got to get on it because that November, that's just two months away.
The Dead Dick book that Scott had mentioned is probably, of all the books that I have read that Scott has written so far, is probably number 1 for me. I totally enjoyed that.
That was a fun book to read.
And when I read the last word on the last page, it's like in the
that was at the end.
yeah, well, it was like in that line from the movie with the little kids, the orphans who are
Don't
eating.
say it again, please.
Yeah,
He's gonna say it again.
Might I have more, please?
Well, you might eventually, but
But
yeah, that was a fun one to write. I came up with that idea when I was in high school, and I called it Dead Dick, which of course I did it on purpose because it's a little titillating. It's about a detective who's dead, so he's a private dick and Dead Dick. But when I was at the bookstore, they kept asking me, "Why did you title it this?" I said, "Well, because it's about a dead detective, and it's been that title since I was in high school, and I'm not changing it now." And it's kind of sad because at one point I Googled Dead Dick I didn't Google, I went to Amazon.com and I put Dead Dick in the search bar and my book came up. And so I was looking at my book page and at the bottom, they have those other suggestions. They're all porno movies. Like, yeah, maybe I shouldn't have called it Dead Dick, even though the sequel will be called it'll be called Dick Dead Again. So it's going to be the same stuff.
Well, the book that I am proofreading right now, but no, it's not proofreading. What is it?
Quality control.
Yeah, quality control.
It's proofreading.
Yeah, proofreading. That's what I did last night at Ventiki.
Oh, good.
I was reading it.
Yeah, Dwayne told me that you were you were reading my book. He didn't know I wrote. He was surprised. Dwayne's the owner of Ventiki, by the way. He didn't know I was a writer, and he asked, "You wrote a book?" I said, "Yeah, I wrote 13 books." But I have to get him a copy of Knife Point because I didn't realize he didn't know that I wrote those. And where does Knife Point end? What's the last scene in Knife Point?
Somebody dies.
It's in Ventiki.
Oh yeah,
yeah, it's in
That's
Ventiki.
right.
Him and his wife are at Ventiki. So,
well, wait a minute. You don't have any more copies of that?
I do. I just have to get one over to him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I went.
He wasn't there last night, which really surprised me. But the last time I went there, which was I guess
Those of you who don't know, Fez Friday is the first Friday of every month at Ventiki. And people who have earned their Fez, which of course is that little box hat that you see, felt hat, they bought a certain number of drinks, and in exchange, they were rewarded this Fez. So they celebrate every Fez Friday on the first Friday of the month with a special drink, and all the people with Fezes come in and celebrate. The reason I want you all to know that is because I'm going to ask John now, how many Fezes were there last night?
Oh gosh. I'm going to say 1, 2, 3. I saw mine. You and I both have orange Fezes, which means we're OGs, original.
They
guys.
just look at us and know that.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it meant old guys.
Yeah. Oh, well, that too. But because orange was the first
Right.
Fez, and that was back when the drink card, the passport, they call it, had 15
were you going to
drinks.
tell me the number, or are you going to give me history of the Fez?
Oh, I'm thinking. My mind. Whoops, sorry. My mind is like, what are you talking about? And I'm telling my mind.
How many Fezes?
Oh yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah.
I'm going to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There was probably through the night 20 to 30.
Oh, well, that's good.
But there was one guy who got a Fez, had a Fez made he put the Ventiki logo on the front and the back. And I don't know if he actually completed a drink card or if he had that Fez made, because it was definitely not one of the Fezes that have been through the years.
Oh, so he probably had it made then.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they don't offer.
But no, I even heard him say he had it made.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So then the answer is there. Oh, that's cool. Good for him.
But the Fez drink was so good last night.
It was the El Dorado
Daiquiri.
daiquiri. Shocker told me that the reason it's called the El Dorado daiquiri is because it's made with El Dorado rum.
It was good. It was very good.
He says as long as they're made right, they're good, and they make them right there. So we were at, of course, Harbor Cove Cafe drinking Mai Tais again and watching seals frolic in the.
And they got good Mai Tais over
their
there.
Mai Tais are really good.
And you know something?
Cheeseburgers are good too.
In Paradise.
Anywhere, but
Yeah.
they're on Harbor Cove Cafe.
So is there what I had last time? 2 pieces of bread with cheese and a hamburger patty.
What was it, John?
Yeah, that's what it was.
Patty melt?
Yeah, that was it. I had a patty melt on the patio.
I mean, I can't really give him a hard time about that. I don't remember what I had for lunch yesterday. It was a hot dog. But anyway,
oh, speaking of hot dogs, I've been wanting to tell you this. Over at Winco, you can get ballpark all beef hot dogs.
I told you last week I don't like all beef. I'd rather have the the normal.
Well, they got those too,
I know.
but they're on sale.
How much are they on sale for?
Probably say $3.98.
The best hot dogs right now in Ventura County are at Laird's Butcher Shop. They are
In Santa Paula.
amazing.
Yes, they are.
They are amazing. And my favorite hot dogs, because I'm a kid, are the Oscar Mayer cheese dogs, the cheese infused dogs. It looks like somebody took a cheese shotgun and shot the hot dog with it. But the Laird's are better. And there's no cheese in them. They're just a big, delicious hot dog. How we got in the subject is way beyond me. We will be back next week. I will give you my review of Beetlejuice, which I think is going to be pretty good based on what I've heard from others.
I'll tell you how we got on that tangent. Hot dogs. What do we always get when we go to the Regency?
You get a hot dog.
And why do we go to the Regency besides the hot dog?
Because they have cheap hot dogs.
Why is that besides the hot dogs?
Oh, I don't know why.
What is the Regency?
Theater.
Which shows?
Movies.
Yes. So we talk about movies. See, it's all connected. Movies, movie theater, Regency, sells hot dogs. Oh, yeah.
John's a detective in his other life. All right, folks, we'll see you next week. Thank you for watching and listening to the Backseat Mogul Show. And next week, I promise to get, is it as bad as they say it is, fixed. We've had that segment for 2 weeks now. I'm very happy with the segment. I want to do it more often, but I've screwed it up twice in 2 weeks. So we'll see what happens.
What are you and the beautiful, gorgeous Shelley, are you listening? Anyway, doing for tomorrow morning, Sunday morning?
Don't know why you asking.
Harbor Code Cafe for Sunday morning breakfast.
Well, that's always a possibility. We're trying to find out if the VFW is doing their breakfast.
You know, I keep forgetting about that place.
But they're having some, and I don't know if it applies. Let me explain this to you, folks. There's a VFW here in Ventura, the city of Ventura, that has the best breakfast in town for a really low price. So we've been going there, getting a cocktail, having breakfast. And then out of the same kitchen, they opened up this restaurant called a sandwich shop called Cheesesteak Republic. Cheesesteak Republic makes these awesome, as you can imagine, cheesesteak sandwiches. Well, they had a problem. I don't know if it was a fire or if something went broke, but they had to have their entire hood replaced for their grill. Probably because it was being used every day instead of just, a couple times a week like it was before. So they've been down for several days now, for actually several weeks. The rumor is, according to them, it's not a rumor, their guesstimate is that they'll be open by Tuesday. So we'll see if that happens, because I want to meet you there for lunch, and we'll try that out.
That would be nice.
It is really, really good. But I'm so sad that they opened up there, the Cheesesteak Republic, and went through the roof. This place, you'd wait 20 minutes in line to get your sandwich, and then 20 minutes to get your sandwich, because you had 20 minutes to order, 20 minutes to get the sandwich. You're going, is it really worth it? Yeah, it was worth it.
So if you're working and you only get 30 to 45 minutes for lunch,
I think you can order in advance. I don't know, but just look at their Instagram page. It's Cheesesteak Republic here in Ventura, the city of Ventura. And it's outstanding, but again, they're not open yet. And so I'm thinking that the closure of Cheesesteak Republic also applies to the VFW, because it's the same kitchen. So the VFW is probably not doing breakfast tomorrow, I would guess.
Isn't the VFW, they're on Market Street in Ventura?
That's it. Yeah. Super nice people, always there. They always pay tribute to the members of the military who go there. It's just a really good place to go. You feel like family there. And that's important. So I highly recommend it. But before you head over there, make sure that they're open, because like I said, they did have those issues with the grill hood.
Okay. If they did get it fixed, instead of going to the other place that Steve and I were going to do, maybe we should go to the cheesesteak place at the VFW.
You know what? I bet if you look back at your texts, you'll see that's what I sent you last week.
Well, that's where I got that information from.
It certainly is. All right, folks.
Go to Amazon.com, look up our Scott Bolton books. You will be forever grateful that I sent you there.
Yes, and check out. We'll be back next week with my review of Beetlejuice. I almost did it 3 times.
I have one more about our Scott Bolton books. When is Miller and Breeze coming out.
Yeah, maybe next year.
That was. I know.
I need to do some fixing to it. There's some parts in there that bother me, and I need to connect the lines, which I will.
Because that was another one I really
know what
enjoyed.
to do with it, but yeah, I like Miller and Breeze too. It was fun. It was based on me and Steve Powell.
Mm-hmm.
Steve was from Homeland Security. I was a lowly pest control operator, and I made characters for us with the one guy being a pest control operator and kind of dissatisfied with his life, and the other guy being basically a secret agent, but also kind of disappointed with his life. And they team up, and it worked out okay. Anyway, that's out. You have to wait till next year for that, folks. Sorry.
But hey, Scotty, as I like to call him, sometimes I call him Scotty B.
Just don't call me. What do they call it that I hate? Scotty is good because Star Trek Scotty.
Mm-hmm.
What is it? Scooter. God, I hate when people call me Scooter.
I don't think I've ever called you that.
Yeah, don't ever do it because I'll punch you.
You don't look like a Scooter.
I have wheels.
And if anybody looked like a Scooter, it would have been Joshy when he was a little kid.
You call him Joshy?
Yeah, I've always.
He doesn't punch you?
I've always called him that.
You're gonna call him after he gets married?
Probably. I'm old.
That's true. All right, folks, go visit our friends at the Grape. That's somewhere else that I got to get to. I haven't been to the Grape in weeks and weeks, and I need to get out there and get one of probably the key lime cocktail. God, that's good.
That sounds
and
good.
Listen to some awesome jazz. But we'll figure it out. Anyway, here's the Grape now. See you next week.
Bye.
Brought to you by The Grape, Ventura County's premier jazz venue and cocktail lounge, located at 2733 East Main Street in Ventura. For menu and music schedule, visit them online at thegrape.club. This has been a Rough Edge Studios production.